Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 30th of October, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at the dollar index. Big rises on the dollar at the end of last week. Euro falling very much on Spanish woes, but the dollar basket against all currencies, dollar is actually still rising, making new multi-week highs. We haven't really seen these levels since July. And interestingly, now prices coming through the cloud, can we recover on this medium-term chart? It'll be very interesting to see. We are still bearish long-term on the dollar. But the short and medium term charts are bullish, about 0.7% upside on the short term chart, but only one target. And we like to see multiple targets. Euro showing that fall away there on Spanish woes on Thursday, Friday, so heading lower back to this sort of 116 level, and again just coming through the cloud here, so we are just seeing bearish action there as well. Take a look at Japanese yen, dollar strengthening here. So we are just seeing the dollar strengthening against the yen across several weeks, but actually just looking a little bit weaker this morning. So maybe the dollar just having a little bit of a sell-off. 132 for sterling, was 130, 160. We are bearish below the cloud. Sterling falling away in sympathy with the euro. Still bearish long term with downside targets, and this 128 target is activated, so that's quite key too. Taking a look at euro sterling against the euro, we're seeing here as well that we are just bullish. So sterling looking stronger than the euro at the moment and recovering on this medium term. So we are just starting to see sterling looking a little bit better there. And against the Swiss franc, much the same picture. Against the Australian dollar, sterling hitting this 172 level. So sterling strength really versus most currencies. The S&P 500 index hitting 2581, so just making moves for higher still. Nasdaq had a very strong session on Friday. We see that in the jump in the chart to bullish, making new highs again. The Dow looking still pretty strong, bullish on all three time frames, and the Russell 2000 starting to recover, having had a month of underperformance. Really, we see here October hasn't been a great month for the Russell 2000, but it's now just starting to recover. The S&P future down 0.2% at the moment. The Nasdaq virtually unchanged on the Nasdaq E-mini. FTSE 100 index down slightly this morning. We are still bearish below the cloud, stronger sterling weighing heavily there, but we are still bullish in the medium and long-term charts. The 250, much the same picture. The DAX up quite strongly on a weaker euro, so we are seeing that improving German corporate earnings. And if we look at the Nikkei still really making a really big run here. We have had an amazing October for the Japanese equities. Hang Seng we're seeing is just slightly below the cloud, so it's a little bit bearish short term. Shanghai had a sharp sell-off as well on last week, so we are just seeing that, but we are still just holding that bullish position on all three charts. The Indian market looking strong, making new highs. The Sensex having had a very good month really in October, and the Australian market also having had a great October, really jumping there. Brent crude is above the $60 mark, so Brent looking very strong. We are seeing here now 2-year highs on Brent, so that is significant and looking strong all round. We've got targets of 78.50 on the medium-term chart, but long-term we're seeing 72. But long-term there aren't a lot of thrust targets to play for, and much the same on the short-term chart. The upside is less clear. Whereas $54 on WTI, so that's moved up strongly as well. And if we look at US Natgas, that's struggling at the $3 mark. $3 has been the real line of action for well over a year now. Copper has been selling off a little bit, was just that stronger dollar having an impact there. Heating oil we're seeing is just still holding its high position as well. Some of the other commodities, coffee looking a little bit better short term, but still medium and long term bearish. Cocoa is actually looking a little bit better on the medium and short term charts, but long term still holding a bearish position. Cotton bearish on pretty well all the charts. Sugar has had a very strong week, so looking better, and that's put us into a bullish phase on the medium-term chart as well. Wheat selling off a little bit there. Soybeans actually just recovering a little bit, and corn still looking fairly bearish. So wheat and corn not looking strong at the moment. The gold chart is also looking weak. Gold is actually bearish below the cloud, and we've got now quite a few downside targets here. We've got 127 on this 1127 on this medium-term chart, not yet activated, so that's quite key. We are still just holding on to the bullish position there on gold on the long and medium-term charts, and silver, of course, a very similar picture. Taking a look at 10-year Treasury yields in the US, sitting at 2.4%. We were nudging 2.5 at one point last week on stronger US numbers, but we are just seeing that we've just come back a bit from that. Apple had a very strong finish on Friday. Most tech did, especially the tech bellweathers. Apple up strongly. Google jumped also strongly on results. Amazon flew up on Friday on strong results, moving to a new high, just jumping to $1,100. Facebook up strongly as well at 177.80, so again making new highs there. And Microsoft on strong results, really just running as well, so looking much stronger there too. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.